Hello everybody and welcome to one more build guide video, but this time around next to a waterfall. We have this build, which is a very unique build, I would call it. This build is called Socrates. You know, it is the ancient Greek philosopher. But before we get into details of this build and why this build is unique, remember to hit the like button if you like this video, and if you like the content of this channel, subscribe, it is free to do so, and if you want to support the channel by becoming a member, so that we can have more content in the future. Why Socrates? And number 2. Years ago I made a Socrates build, which was the first one, this is why I call this one number 2. That Socrates build was very experimental, and that build was using green items for the most part, that had the prefix Socrates, as we can see on this one. This one says Socrates Talisman of Foresight. So, imagine 5 or 6 green items on this character, on the old build, not this one, having the Socrates prefix. That was a great idea, but that build was not very good indeed. It was very fragile when it comes to survivability. So, now we are coming back with Socrates number 2. I found this specific amulet here, Socrates of Foresight. This is a perfect item because both affixes, Socrates and of Foresight, they provide the same type of stats, percentage to intelligence and percentage to energy. And I thought that I needed to use this perfect item somewhere, and I made the Socrates number 2. But this time around I'm not using the Socrates prefix on all of my items. I have only a couple of items having the Socrates prefix. So, why this build is unique? It is unique because it is a melee, it is a Juggernaut. Juggernaut is defense and earth mastery. But it is a melee build, as you can see. I have melee weapon and a shield. But I'm not using any, I haven't spent any points on strength, and I'm not using strength actually. And still, this build is very good, very satisfying, and it works, and it deals damage, good damage. So it is unique because of other things, because I'm using mostly green items and it is based on the Socrates prefix. I have much better amulets than this one. I have legendary amulets or epic amulets that provide many resistances, survivability, damage output and whatnot. But I decided to go with something more unique this time around, and we have this build here. And also it is melee, but we are not spending any points on strength attribute, although we use physical damage on this build. We will see in a minute how we use it. For the attributes we have, this started as a legendary hero. I haven't spent any points on health, I haven't spent any points on energy, and I haven't spent any points on strength. As you can see, strength 50. 0 points on strength. I have spent points, not too many, but some points on intelligence, and most of my points on dexterity. 85% of attribute points that I had, I spent on dexterity. And this is the setup of the attributes for this character. Now when it comes to the skills, we have some items that provide +2 all skills, so we have some skills maxed out on +3 or +4, whatever. We have the adrenaline. I'm using this one because the buff here is very good. When this one triggers, of course you can understand that we deal much more physical damage and total speed increases, it is very good. I have maxed out the unyielding phalanx, which is not a pet. It helps very much dealing damage to many enemies and bosses. So it is very good for dealing damage, killing stuff, and also surviving, because if you have this one out, it distracts a little bit some enemies, and sometimes the enemies do not hit you, they try to hit this phalanx. Then I have spent some points on rally. I have this one here, inspiration, for some total speed and energy regen, and I have the defiance maxed out and on +4. Because this one provides damage reflected, which is very good, and the elemental resistance, which is very good. It helps with survivability. I have maxed out the battle awareness, which provides defensive ability and armor, very important, both for this build specifically. On focus I haven't maxed it out, but maybe later I will max it out. And I have spent a couple of points here, and we have some secondary resistances, very nice ones. Then we have maxed out the shield charge. Very powerful skill, especially when you max out the add-on, which makes it AoE and you hit multiple enemies. We deal very good damage with this one. I have maxed out the batter skill, which again physical damage hits enemies with a shield. I have this one at level 7, arc of attack for this one to hit multiple enemies, and also reducing the armor of enemies. And I have maxed out, of course, the armor headlink, the shield smash, which is a passive attacking skill with the shield, and the pulverize, one of my top favorite skills in the whole game. And I have spent 1 or 2 points on Colossus form, This one is very good. It increases strength, physical damage, health, reduces total speed, but it doesn't matter. And it also gives you damage absorption, so sometimes when you need more survivability, you trigger this one. 43% damage absorption is a very big deal. It is very awesome. In Earth Mastery, again we have maxed out. Earth Enchantment provides buffs to fire damage. Brimstone provides buffs to physical damage and also burn damage over time. And Stone Skin, which is very crucial, provides armor and fire resistance. Of course, the Volatility, which provides every time this triggers, all three together trigger. Physical damage buff, fire damage, burn damage. We deal all three types of damage here, so when this one triggers, we deal awesome damage. I have spent 1 point only here to get the physical resistance from this one. I don't care about the burn retaliation or the damage absorption from fire, because this damage absorption is only for fire, it is not generic. I have spent 1 point on Stone Form to use this one sometimes when I'm about to die, because this one can give you immortality for a few seconds. And only 1 or 2 points here for a little bit of fire retaliation. Maybe later, I would max out this one, but I don't know. And last but not least, I have spent a point here to get the Ring of Flame, and I have maxed out the Softer Metal. This of course is very costly to energy, but I wanted to use this one mostly, because this one reduces the offensive ability of enemies that it hits, which means now the enemies cannot really deal lots of critical damage on you or physical damage. Or even if the enemies are at melee attackers, because offensive ability works with melee attacks and defensive ability. No matter what type of damage their melee attacks deal, if you reduce their offensive ability, they will have less chances to actually hit you with their melee attacks. So it is something that helps with survivability against melee attackers. And reduced armor reduces armor of enemies, and you deal more physical damage to them. And the good thing is that it also deals a little bit of damage, physical. It is a tiny amount, but also this one gets buffed by strength attribute, percentage to physical damage, or even this one, volatility. So it can deal more damage than just 45. And this is the build when it comes to masteries for now. This is the beginning of this build's journey in Legendary. Here we have the Strength of Pangu artifact. Perfect artifact. For this build especially, it is very awesome. Because of the many resistances, strength points, offensive ability buff and total damage buff, and also the Cosmic Strike skill is very powerful. It deals lots of damage and it kills enemies. We have the Prowler Squires. This item requires mostly dexterity, a little bit of strength, and it has great resistances. This is why I'm using it, and it is green, so I could also put on this one the rigid carapace and get the very much needed pierce resistance. My pierce resistance is 65%, which is very good. 80% is the maximum. Here we have the Cultist Diadem of the Tinkerer. This item requires intelligence and a little bit of dexterity. So, as a Tinkerer item, I could put 2 components. I decided to go with the Sage Betrayal because this gives you even more damage, piercing damage flat on your weapon attacks, because this build is mainly weapon attacks. It is a melee build. We don't have any spells. I'm not using any of the spells of Earth Mastery. I'm using only melee attacks. And the flat piercing damage is a very good addition to my melee attacks. It also works with the shield. When we hit the shield also applies this flat number. The sword also applies this flat number, so it is a very big buff. Then I went with the Canic of Odysseus, because I wanted to get even more intelligence buffs. I didn't spend many points on intelligence, so I have 598, I got 408 added intelligence points. This is due to points that come from the Mastery, Earth Mastery, that provides intelligence points, and also from items that I have that provide intelligence. And one of the items is this plus 30% intelligence, which increases my intelligence even more. And intelligence increases your elemental damage, vitality damage, and energy regeneration rate. Here we have the Stone Banner Scuffs. This is the impenetrable Stone Banner Scuffs of Impetus, I think. Very good item, rare item. Not the best I could get, but I was lucky enough to get this one only, so. I went on this one with a Primal Magma. I wanted to get even more damage to my melee weapon attacks, and also attack speed is very crucial for this build. Why? Because this build also uses the shield. It also uses the Shield Smash, which is a passive, a proc skill as you call it. And also the Pulverize, which again is a passive one. These skills, and also this one which I'm not using, These skills use both the melee weapon and the shield to hit the enemies with. In this game, if you are new to this game, the shield also works as a weapon, not as a piece of armor. And you can also use it to, for example, when I do this move, this is the batter. And when you use the batter, you hit it with the shield, but also it applies also the weapons chuk 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 chuk. So, this is a shield. And now, when you have proc skills, the way to make your proc skills proc more frequently in less amount of time, it is to have the highest attacking speed possible. So attack speed is very crucial to this build, and I went with this primal magma with the bonus to be 35% attack speed. Here we have Resistant of the Tinkerer. Again, the Sedge Betrayal with piercing damage, again to boost even further my pierce damage output, and the Pristine Plumage to get survivability resistances. For the jewels we have the Socrates Talisman of Foresight, which we talked about earlier. This item gave me the idea to make this build, and I decided to go with the Star of the Evening to get more attack speed and more damage output for my everything, elemental damage and casting speed, which helps. Although I don't really use spells, maybe other than this one, Rally, and this one, which is not really that important when it comes to casting speed. This one is when it comes to casting speed, but I'm not using this one for the casting speed, I'm using it for the attack speed and the elemental damages buff. Socrates Equals of the Tinkerer. So we have one more Socrates. This one also provides 20% intelligence, and this is how I have so much intelligence. And again, Star of the Evening to get even more attack speed and more damage, elemental damages, and also Demon's Blood to get survivability on vitality. And here we have the Burning Seal of Tranquility. The Burning provides the flat fire damage, which is not big, but if we consider that this build gets buffed by many sources and very nicely to the fire damage aspect of the build, then also this number, it is a small number, but it adds to the buffed ones numbers of damage output, and it helps dealing more damage. Maybe not that much more, but for example we have average damage 1310, it goes down to 1257. Why? Because the only thing on this rig that provides more damage is the 5 to 11 fire damage. At 5 to 11 is that, it doesn't go down to by 10 points for example, it goes down by 60 whatever. 70 points. So that's something, and I haven't even activated my buffs, so this one helps. It is not such a tiny number as it looks like. And also we get health points here, 3655, fire damage 5141. Now for the items, I'm using the Shield Royal Decree. This comes with Eternal Ember's Act. The good thing about the shield is that it requires dexterity, not strength, and this is how I can equip this one. This shield is very good, it has great damage, 304 damage, it blocks great numbers of damage, and it also has many stats, very good stats, damage reflected, strength points buff, plus it also has a defense mastery. In general it is amazing. And last but not least, the main weapon is this item, which comes from Atlantis DLC as far as I recall. This item is amazing. As you can see, this item, the base damage type of this item is fire damage. The physical damage is very tiny, the pierce ratio is very tiny, but the fire damage is very good. And the fire damage is the main one. And it also provides +1 to skills in Earth Mastery, and it has the Fire Nova skill, which, okay, nothing special, but it helps. It is better than nothing. And it also provides 10 health regen and 10 energy regen. So, this is the build. Let me activate the skills. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one is not going down. So now resistance is 80% maxed out, -15 bad, 1% bad, 65 good, 20 just okay, 13 just okay, -65 of course, you know what I'm going to say, 35% very nice physical resist. Combined armor is not the best, especially due to this one being an intelligence item and this one intelligence item, but anyways, when it comes to armor we also get the bonus that we get from skills or other items, which helps of course. And also physical resistance mitigates incoming physical damage, that also helps. And yeah, the survivability of this build is not the best, but the point here is to have a unique build that it is satisfying to play and try to survive as much as possible, instead of having a build which is very easy because you have maxed out all the resistances. So it is a challenging build, but very fun to play. The average damage, as we can see, is very good. The attack speed is very good. The DPS is very good. And remember, right now I'm not attacking, so for example, when I attack this one triggers, we deal more damage than what these numbers say here, because this is a very big buff. So we have some buffs that work during combat. Now here we have very good resistances, secondary. Health energy regen, here nothing. Movement speed is not the best, but we use this one which provides a bit of total speed. And also sometimes when the adrenaline kicks in, this one it provides also its own total speed here. And we get more movement speed. We have defensive abilities good enough. Offensive ability is good enough only for the beginning of legendary difficulty. But of course, what I'm planning to do is, as I'm leveling up and I'm gaining more dexterity, more attribute points, I will spend all points on dexterity to increase this one as much as possible. And this is it. This is the build. This is the Socrates No.2 build. So I'm going to kill something now so that you can see some gameplay. And remember again, guys, if you like the content, subscribe, it is free to do so. And follow me on Twitch. Oops, I'm dead. Okay, let's focus a little bit. Let's use this one. Boom. This one is still alive. Nice. Let's see. Yes, all together, please. Very nice. Oh, legendary. Alexander set item. All you need to do is to be a little bit careful, especially against ranger enemies that attack you from a distance. They deal damage is like cold damage. Because minus 15, okay, it's not good. Now the adrenaline is on and I'm running faster. Of course, remember that I will live stream this build very soon, so One more reason for you to subscribe and stay tuned with the content of this channel for Titan Quest and some other action RPGs. Very nice.
Do you want to buy something?
Do I want to buy something? No, I want to kill something. So, this is the gameplay. It is very simple.
Heavens, yes.
At some times, maybe we will need to use the phalanx. For example, here. I will use it here. Chuck. Or use the stormform and the phalanx combination. So, this is the gameplay. Of course, this is not much gameplay, but as I said before, I'm going to live stream this build very soon, and we will have lots of gameplay there. This build is very interesting to see how it will perform throughout legendary difficulty, and it is also very satisfying to play, at least to me personally. You know, Defense Master is one of my favorite masters, and melee builds is my favorite type of build, so... And this one is a burning build. It burns bright. So guys, thanks for watching the video, and I will see you very soon again. Remember to subscribe, it is free to do so. Do so!